Bam! Alright, so right out of the gate, we're on AI Station, which is a level that a lot of people hate, and I can understand why, but it's also a really interesting level for a lot of different reasons. The main reason being that there's only one lane at the very beginning, and later on it kind of splits, but it's difficult. Depending on team makeup, you might go for the top tower or the bottom tower, but either way, it's not going to be easy. This first chunk of the game that takes place in this area right here is arguably the most important part of the game. So, it's going to depend entirely on which teams can do what. And to begin, well, here are the teams. So, on the red team, we have Leon, we have Yuri, and we have Voltar. A very strong, pushing team. If this continues for too long, the Leon's clones, plus Yuri's heals, plus Voltar's heals are going to be too much for the blue team to handle. On the blue team, which is taking a little while to get moving, we've got a blue now, who's setting up shop upstairs. We got a frog, and we have a Vinny. Yeah, there we go. And we have a Vinny. Now, this team is defensively pretty strong between the Gnaw down here and everything else going on. So where's the Gnaw? There's the there's the Gnaw. Now I got my hotkeys up and running. So between the Gnaw and the Vinny, who unfortunately just died, they're going to have a very easy time defending this for the first little while, but after a certain amount of time, the red team is just going to have too much money. Right here, we have Fudge giving clones for the Voltar to heal up. That's a really strong move. It gives a lot of economy to the Voltar right out of the gate, which he isn't supposed to necessarily have. Nas just sitting here doing his best to put down some weedlings and do what he can there. Vinny's coming back into the fight. Right now, he's currently sitting on what for items? He's currently sitting on Dash and Solar Tree. So Solar Tree, not exactly an item you see very often on pro Vinnies these days. Typically speaking, you'll find Solar Crab Burgers, and you're using the Solar Cloud with the heal from it to be able to get the HP that you want. But he's gone for Solar Tree. In fact, his entire team has, which means that they are planning for late game. The red team has picked up some interesting stuff too. 2 Solar Tree users, mines, and heal bots to keep his friends alive and well instead of relying on damage to do the trick. And interestingly enough, the Leon, who only has clone. So, no solar items whatsoever. He's going straight for, hey, I'm going to help out my Voltar and get him money quickly. Which is probably a good idea on this map. The sooner your Voltar gets big, the harder the Voltar train can get going. So, I expect that will be useful. If they can get that to work, it'll be strong. But the burst on the other team is also fairly strong between the Vinny. And speaking of which, the burst coming out, Spike Dash, lots of damage coming out. The Frog is going to end off picking up a kill on the Yuri. But now it's Fudge's turn to get a little bit scared. He almost gets picked off, but not quite. He ends up surviving. So, Substral getting a really good pick off there and showing off what their team can do, which is burst. Between the Frog and the Vinny, they're going to have a lot of burst. The Gnaw, on the other hand, is going to help, hopefully, finish people off with his poison damage. So, we'll see what happens. Looks like the Vinny is not going to end up going for the burst. In fact, he's going to end up going for the fish gun build, for the bubble gun build. So, yeah. Consistent DPS instead of burst, which I guess is fine for this level, especially because you can just sit back and poke and poke and poke away without having to worry about damage you're taking. Which they could take a fair amount, but no one's picking up anything other than mines and stuff so far, so a little bit of harassment coming out on either team, but the red team is going to come out on top of any engagement that happens because of the Voltar being able to heal very well. The Voltar is also picking up a decent amount of money. His current total solar has got to be fairly large, sitting at 732, which is 200 higher than anybody on the blue team. Dash coming in, BBQ Fudge pretty low, but nothing gonna really be able to follow it up, unfortunately, and the Voltar is just gonna heal Fudge right back up to full. See how Fudge is positioning himself next to his clones, so that way the Voltar can get multiple solar coins at the same time? That's a good move. That's good. That's a good way to play for a Leon, playing like a team player. Fudge trying to. Sorry, here's another interesting thing. Leon and Yuri obviously have always been a good combo for tongue pull into mines. If they can actually ever pull that off, the entire blue team is fairly susceptible to being killed instantly by that. So that'll be interesting. I'll get rid of that chat there. Currently sitting at a decent solar lead for the red team. They've got 800, 700, and 400 to the 600, 500, and 500 on the blue team. So they're currently winning the solar battle, but it must be noted that right now, in terms of upgrades, it is going to be the blue team that is going to win out on them. They have 3 Solar Tree users. Wow, double dash coming out. Not quite enough to kill the Yuri, but got very close. The Voltar's going to get some money off of that, but for now, Makis is going to have to take a little bit safe. Whoa, dash coming in, almost killing the Leon. Look at that guy. He ends up dying to the poison damage from the Genji. Wow, from the Gnaw. So really good pick off there. Nah having to keep a little bit safe now that he took a bit too much damage from the tower and the Yuri. But really good pick-off. I'm surprised that the Voltar wasn't able to out-heal that, but I guess his heal bot just wasn't enough on its own. Voltar should probably go home and spend some money right now. He's currently sitting on 756 solar, and that's a lot of money. That could be some heals that could have saved the Leon if he had spent it. So going home to spend is kind of important in this game. You definitely want to do that sometime around the 400 to 500 solar mark, no later than that. Otherwise, typically speaking, you are not just it's not that you're wasting time to farm, but that you're wasting time to be able to, you know, increase your lead by getting more items. So Yuri's going to have to head back. He's taking a lot of damage. Voltar is currently making his slow way back home, back to the lane, sorry. And he picked up the heals, picking up Euphoric Thoughts and 2 Happy Thoughts. So he is... His left click is through the roof right now. There is no way that the Gnaw is going to get a kill if the red team plays properly. So push coming out. Right now as it stands, the blue team has slightly more tower damage on the red tower than the red team does on the blue tower. So as it stands, blue team's kind of winning. But right now, it looks like things could be changing because the Voltar train is going to start, and I'm not sure if it's going to stop if it starts going. Mine coming out, clearing the wave. Red droids are now pushing in. This could be potentially extremely painful unless if Vinny's got his cloud. Dash coming through, double dash coming through. Lots of bites, lots of spits. Is Spit going to hit? No, absolutely not. The red team almost getting 2 people to die. Makis, though, is going to go ahead and get a lot of heals. So's Fudge, and so's Fudge's clone. So lots of solar coming in for Voltar right now. Picking quickly right back up to his 300 solar. So that's quite a lot. What is this Vinny sitting on in terms of items right now, anyhow? So Vinny's currently got for Godfish and Sharky and Remora. I honestly think like Burst would have been the better choice in this particular battle. If he had gone for Burst, he would have been able to take out the heal bot. He would have been able to help Burst. Double dash, lots of spit damage coming out, and BAM! There goes the spit, I guess. Nom ends up killing up Fudge. Leon, just not enough HP to survive all that burst and all that poison damage on the Gnaw. So kudos to the Gnaw for picking up spit poison. If I am correct, and I believe he did. So he's got 1 out of 3 ranks in that, so that's a start. He's also picked up a couple ranks in pills to help him stay alive in these engagements. Right now, the top jungle is completely dominated by the blue team as well, so Gnaw is actually keeping up with the majority of the red team, although Voltar is still trucking ahead at level 11. Gnaw at level 9. And then everyone else is kind of relegated to wherever they are. Fudge is currently in the sorriest spot because he has absolutely no solar items, and it's a Leon on AI station. That's just rough. That's not a place you ever want to be. Dash coming out. It's going to hit Fudge, but nothing else is really going to come out of that. Queso's taking a bit of damage. Blue Pwn's you coming in with an Arbe, but it's going to end up doing very little in this round right now because Voltar doesn't have drones. That extra burst that you could get out of Arbe potentially just isn't there. So right now the blue team is being relegated to defending as hard as they can. Spit coming out, and all that's going to do is going to help the Voltar put out some more heals, get some more coins out of it, because, well, he can out-heal the poison. Queso going to take a tongue to the face. He's going to manage to get out of there, no problem. Fudge, on the other hand, takes a bunch of tower damage and as a result, has to head back and get some heals on him. Budkai is back in this lane, but what's he going to do? Queso is extremely low, so he can't exactly jump in and bite. Dash coming out. It's double dash coming out. Fudge really low. NATO damage coming out to help out, but it's not going to do enough. I say out a lot. I'm sorry. I should really diversify my vocabulary. So double dash coming out is proving to be a very powerful combination, but it's not proving to be enough. Blue team needs to get more dash damage. Oh, dash into NATO, into more dashing, and it's almost death. Death to the Voltar. Voltar goes down. This is the blue team's cue to push as hard as they physically can. 2 people from the red team had to teleport. 1 person died. This is, for the next 5 to 6 seconds, they've got a good amount of damage that they can put out on this tower. And they have to. They have to. They cannot let this Voltar train get too far. Alright, Makis coming in. He's going to toss out his healing bubble and just lasers at people in the face. What does he have? We have not been paying attention to the area. He's been going for bubble right now. He's got flash forward and 2 ranks in healing, so his bubble right now is very much team supportive. Dash coming out to just get away from the Leon. Leon, by the way, who has now picked up aggressive AI chips, and that way he can push on his clones a lot harder. So that, once the Voltar train gets rolling, it's going to be good. Tongue out of the Arbe, so Blue Pwn's is going to probably have to head home or head upstairs to get some HP. But in the meantime, this tower is going to start taking a little bit of damage. Little pokes of it here and there just because of the double heals. BAM! Fudge putting himself in a bad situation, taking a lot of tower damage and not realizing just what the Vinny could do, even with just base dash. So he goes down. Actually, it's not just base dash anymore. He picked a bag of goldfish, so he is going to end up going for the burst. Vinny doing a good like that's good presence of mind on Vinny's part, I would say. Lots of gold coins on the ground, but Yuri's going to pick him up. Yuri collecting a decent amount of farm just out of dropped coins that just aren't being last hit. So level 12 right now, sitting behind Henke on his team. Dash coming out, going to do absolutely nothing due to double heals. This is a really tough team to kill right now. Like the blue team has going to have a very, very difficult time trying to get some kills because of all this healing going on. So there's the healing bubble, there's the healing, the healing party going on. Blue Pones U is going to end up getting out alive, despite the fact that the red team should have been able to stay alive. Unfortunately, they didn't. Dash coming out of the Vinny, and that's going to be the end of one certain Voltar. Voltar now currently sitting with Healbot increase on the HP and heal. So his Healbot's going to actually be very difficult to take out. On top of that, he's picked up Psycho Thrust, so as a result, the healing waves will be able to push people away. Currently 1-6 in favor of the blue team, but that might not be the story here. Looking at the levels, the Voltar is sitting at level 17, although that dash almost kills Fudge. Fudge is just going to have to run away. The poison's going to end up killing him. Queso making work happen for his team here, if I'm not completely incorrect here. He's got the most kills on his team by far at 3. Not by far. It's 3, 2, and 1, actually. It's not that far ahead. Current Solar sitting at with not 300, so he's got a decent amount of money. Total Solar, you can usually tell just because of the level, but levels don't say everything. Because of the whenever you die, you lose a little bit of Solar. So just because you're a certain level doesn't mean that you have all that Solar. And yep, Vinny going for the burst. He got the Godfish, he got the Godfather Fish, sorry, and he got the Sharky and Remora upgrades, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to go for damage on the dash, and that's just what he's done. It's been proving to be very effective. And dash coming out, another dash coming out, lots of damage, spit on the Yuri, Yuri's going to go down, Fudge is going to go down, Henke, the only one left to defend, and we all know how little a Voltar can defend, so Voltar's going to have to sit behind his tower, and he's going to just be a sad panda. While the blue team goes in and pushes, this will probably be the first tower down of the game, because it's going to take a little while for people to get rolling. But no, Voltar showing how it's done. He's got the pushback on his heal bot, and on his healing wave. So yeah, although it doesn't seem like he knows how to exactly keep how to use the Psycho Thrust. I don't know. He's just not using it on his healing wave. So lots of damage coming out on this tower. Queso taking some damage as well. But this creep wave is just stacking. If that thing ever even, yeah, it touched the tower and it died. But a lot of solar coming in for Yuri and Leon. So at least they got some money out of it. But the tower goes down. Blue team looking like they're in a good position. Although Budokai caught out a little bit. He takes some damage. This Voltar train is just starting, though. With that push... Oh, wait, no, it's not just starting. It's just ending. Everybody on the red team is running for their lives. Fudge and Henke get completely picked off by the Froggy and Vinny burst combination. So that's a lot of pain. Yuri's the only one left to defend, but Yuri can defend. He's got mines, but he might not be mining for very long. He gets dashed, and no follow-up. So that's going to be the end of that particular engagement. Makis is just mining up and lasering as much as he can, trying not to take too much damage or present himself to be too much of a target. Makis is going to have to go ahead and take a run for his life right now. Super Droid going upstairs. This is going to push in and do some damage, or just nuke a little bit before dying horribly and miserably. So yeah, it's not going to end up doing anything. Flyers coming out for the blue team. They're going to help try to create a foothold here, but they're not going to last for very long because Yuri said so. Arbenado. Nothing else is really going to happen here. It seems like everybody's just coming at a standstill at this choke point, and nothing's going to really happen from there. Right now, what the red team needs to do in order to keep in this game is just stay still. Oh, wow! Tongue, the Queso. The Queso's going to take some damage, but he's going to get out just fine. Burst is going to come out, though. Fudge is in a little bit of trouble, although the Invis is going to keep him alive. Just if that cooldown was just a little bit shorter on Vinny's Spike Dive, he would have killed the Leon. Leon now back up to almost full health because of Henke's level 20 Voltar heals. That's very scary, although he has no drones whatsoever right now. He is completely relying on his teammates to do all the damage for his team, for pushing and everything else. And I honestly, like, again, the whole story is not immediately present. Although the blue team has a lot of burst, they need to be able to push, and push fast, because they aren't going to be able to push forever. Yuri's going to be able to defend a lot of pushes. Dash into NATO, maybe? No, NATO was cancelled by Tongue, so that's just going to end up doing nothing. The heal bots and the healing waves healing everybody right back up to full. Vinny's going to have to head back home or get some heals because he took some damage in that little engagement. And this red team is going to be pushing in. So, again, it's not the whole... Oh, dash into dash, The healing bot goes down. NATO is trying to do some actual damage, but it's not going to be enough. Henke is just going to heal everybody back up. They're already back up to half HP. Budokai already pretty badly hurt, so he has to either go back or find some HP. He's deciding to go back and teleport home. And this Voltar train, it might not have any brakes anymore. This heal is starting to prove to be very, very, very annoying. Tongue out on Queso. Queso's just going to run back. There's not exactly a lot of follow-up on a tongue for Fudge. He has to tongue into several mines in order to make it worth. Dash into dash. Makus, he might die here. I'm not sure. Oh, the heal bot is going to end up not doing enough. He went back into Budokai's bubbles. I don't know why. But that's going to be a triple kill for the blue team. Team wipe. They are going to have at least a good almost 20 seconds to push. And somebody's saying something. Oh, okay. That's a lot of balls you got there, Blue Pons you. So they're going to go ahead and put on some serious damage onto this tower. It's already down a quarter, down a half. Leon's going to be the only one who's going to be able to defend for the next 10 seconds. In he comes. Yuri's coming in. He'll be back in about another 5 to 6. And Voltar's still dropping down. So, oh! Fudge goes down. Just too many spike dives. The top tower ends up dying because of that team wipe. Alright, so the red team is currently on its back foot. This Leon, currently the story of their team, sitting on almost nothing. He's got some items for his clones to keep moving and attacking, so if they ever get a push off, it'll be devastating. But they need to get that push off first. Healbot going down. It's not going to be able to push people into the tower like the Voltar wanted, and unfortunately Henke just kind of sitting around waiting he could do something to this flying droid, but he has absolutely nothing. He has no damage whatsoever, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. Nog going to take a mine to the face. He's going to run away successfully thanks to the Healbot push. So as it stands, solar-wise, the blue team is now very much in a good spot. The Leon is so far behind on the red team that it's going to be difficult for him to catch up. He needs to help push, but he's so fragile right now that he can't even live long enough to do it. So, if the red team wants to come back into this, Leon needs to buy a couple of ranks and pills. Dash, no double dash quite yet, though. Vinny's not quite able to do anything. He gets picked back into the healing drones, but it's not going to do anything. Healbot does not do damage, so that tongue is not going to do anything. There are no mines down. Dash into nothing. Okay, so right now it looks like the blue team's coordination's a little bit off. If they have a double dash, they could do this, but otherwise this Voltar train has no stops planned other than at the opponent's core. So right now they're doing a ton of damage, actually. They're doing a lot of damage to this blue tower at long last. It's taking some time, though. Oh, Fudge could have died there, but Budokai decided not to, did not see the Fudge. So Leon's going to end up living. Vinny's going to have to go back. Lots of damage coming out, but it just gets healed right back up. The red team is just not letting up anymore. Blue team is trying to get some, trying to get a foothold, trying to push them off, and they're finally going to succeed in killing off that creep wave. But it's just going to come back in the next couple of seconds. Queso is going to end up jumping away. Blue Pons, you take some mine to the face that he shouldn't have had to. Queso's going to keep running. And yep, this Voltar train is just starting to go. Chugga chugga choo choo, down goes the first tower. And there we go. The solar drops on the ground. Queso ends up picking up some of it, so he doesn't end up, completely wasting it. Dash coming out from Blue Ponsy, but it's only going to hit Makus, and Makus just does not care. He's getting healed by the Voltar. Budokai going to have to run away. The blue team is completely unsynchronized. The two dashes are not connecting at the same time. They're not connecting hard enough, although Blue Ponsy coming in for a dash, and it's not going to end up doing anything. Henke is just going to heal right back up. Oh, but he's going to come back in with a NATO, and a dash coming out. Another dash coming out. Fudge is going to die to the poison, and so is Henke. Blue Ponsy is going in for the kill right now. He's chasing Makus as hard as he can. He's going to be able to get a dash off, but he drops down. Makus is going to drop down with him. Is he going to stay down? Heck no. He's going to say, I don't want to go near that NATO, and very wisely so, he ends up surviving. So now this is the chance for the blue team to try to clinch this, to try to put in some real damage onto their, onto the core, but it's not going to happen. It looks like the blue team went back and is dealing with creep waves that are hitting their own base tower. So Blue Ponsy, story right here, he's going to end up dying to Makus because he took one too many mines to the face. In the meantime, the blue team is back here, dealing with this super droid. And it seemed like a really wasted opportunity there for the blue team. Red team getting the space that they need to be able to reformat, put themselves together, pull themselves together, and put together their choo-choo train once again. So on this choo-choo train, we now have turrets that explode and that deal a significant amount of damage. Although I can't imagine that any number of ranks of explode are better than having multiple drones. So that was a weird upgrade pickup. But hey, you know what? Henke plays Voltar more than I do, I'm sure. So he probably ended up doing the better choice. Henke going to be putting out some heals. Dash coming out of the Frog. Frog is not going to be the only one doing some damage. Vinny's going to end up getting a second pick off. Henke is going to run for his life, but is it going to be enough? Probably not. Dash coming out. Henke goes down too. Blue pwns you, helping get a double kill. So at this point, the blue team needs to go in and establish their advantage. They didn't do that last time. Okay, fair enough. You're dealing with the droids at your turret. But this time, they've got almost a 15-second window with which they can push. They could end this game right here, right now. Leon and Yuri are still dropping down. This is going to take a lot of damage. If this doesn't end up going down now, it could go down anytime the blue team really wants it to. It's down to a third. It's down to a sliver. And bam. Down it goes. So as soon as the blue team put together the coordination again, they were able to overcome the Voltar train, which unfortunately was unable to get off the ground. Leon, the story of their team, unfortunately, just unable to get the solar that he needed to be able to pick up the items that he needed in order to start killing people. There just wasn't enough kill power on this red team. Maybe picking up the tongue stretcher on Leon would have been useful, so that way they could have pushed mines farther back where the droids weren't going to get them, and then pull people into those groupings of mines by surprise. But there you have it, folks. That's the game of BBQ versus Substral, sent in by Blue Pwns You. BBQ, go ahead, scrim them again, and then send in your own replay where you look good, and we'll see you guys in the next replay. Well played by both teams. If only the red team had been able to get their push strat going on a little bit earlier, a little bit harder, and a little bit more forcefully, they would have been able to win this. But blue team coordinating their dash potential, coordinating their burst, and just overcoming the sustainability of the red team. So well played. Very well played.